Hey, Flea fam. Welcome to another episode of You,
Me,
and the Flea. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. We are in freaking, the middle of November.
We are. And
I'm not going to lie, you guys. Your girl is really pumped for the next 6 weeks. I'm a big eater, and the food that we have coming up here soon.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get my hands on. I'm ready to get my hands on.
I mean, it ain't nothing like a Thanksgiving little meal, you know what I'm saying?
I know we'll talk about this, in depth later on.
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite, like a dish, Thanksgiving dish?
No, like I just have like an ideal bite. Like my bite is
okay. What is it?
Mashed potatoes with the gravy and some turkey on it and stuffing on it, and like a little
green bean casserole.
Something.
That's mine.
And then I'm just like.
That's
corn, if there whatever there is, I'm like putting it on that bite and I'm just like throwing it back.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, not really like a fave.
Yeah.
But
one thing I just do not get behind is cranberries. The cranberry.
Listen, I will try it. I can get behind it if it's good.
Yeah.
Whatever. What do you mean? You would like it if it was like on a cracker with cheese and like salami or something,
I just
like
need
a jam.
To eat it differently.
Totally.
And not like the way that they have it traditionally. Just.
Well, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's just more of like whatever. But anyways, we're actually
not talking about this today.
We're talking about, what led to today's discussion was Friendsgiving. So
let's go.
We're talking friends today.
Let's talk friends.
Friends, being friendly, community. I feel like November, at least for me, I'm always, because of Thanksgiving, and like, I don't know about you, but I just feel like we jump from like Halloween and there's so many people that just go straight to Christmas.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving is like my favorite. It was always my mom's favorite holiday growing up. So we never like decorated until like the day after Thanksgiving. Like it was very much so like, no, we need to give like attention to Thanksgiving in our house.
We never decorated either until after Thanksgiving. Yeah. We would go get the tree like that weekend.
Yep.
Now, that has changed slightly as us kids have gotten older and have moved out.
Sure.
My mom just genuinely loves the look of like the tree in the house.
Sure.
I mean, I know one year she took
yeah.
like the ornaments off. It was like after Christmas and she just like kept the tree lit and like had it at night, So I would not be surprised if Miss Wanda is going to be putting up the tree before.
Yeah, I mean, I get like,
but totally
there's a lot going on that weekend with kids in town or family in town. And so you want to have it up like before or something like that. I mean,
I totally agree with you, though. I think we need to give a moment for Thanksgiving.
Totally.
For me, I just feel like maybe it's, what I've gone through personally, professionally in the last few months. But I am just very thankful. One, to have my health.
For sure.
I'm thankful to have a job. I'm thankful to have extremely supportive family and friends.
For sure.
So I definitely think, love Christmas, love the decorations, love the glitz, love the lights, but let's give Thanksgiving a moment.
100%.
I just think, with the world, we've gone through a lot in the last 4 years. We have a new president, so I think everybody should just take a look around and seriously,
no, it's like a perfect time, at least for me, to always kind of like reflect. Like Thanksgiving, there used to be like these challenges on Facebook. I remember like years past where it'd be like every day you like put what you're thankful for and stuff. And it really does just put like light to, some things that you might overlook, like waking up every day, or, the fact that like we can walk places where other people don't get that, a luxury, if you will, or there's so many things, and especially with it being so nasty in this world these days, it's like, I don't know, it's nice to kind of like sit and think about that. And one of those are friends, you know what I mean? Like, obviously friends come and go. I've lost a ton, gained a ton,
Same.
So I'm just like super thankful for the people that are here. Anyways, and all that to be said, let's just jump right in. What are some good qualities in a friend?
Some good qualities in a friend. For me, it would be loyalty.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
Trusting. I personally love somebody who's honest, as much as people may not believe. I don't want a friend who's just going to be like I want friends that are cheerleaders for sure, but I also think a good friend is somebody who's going to kind of call you out on things maybe that you're not doing good, and maybe like things that you need to take a look at. So, constructive criticism for me, I'm not saying that's like you have to have that to be my friend, but I definitely value that.
Yeah. Now
as I've gotten older. Kindness, caring, fun. Like, are we going to have fun together?
Right.
For sure, though, it would be trust, loyalty. I would say for sure, like, trust and loyalty.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, those are the biggest, 100%. Right? I mean, if you don't have that in a friend, who are you going to have that with,
right.
A good listener. Yep. I think that's huge for a friend because I feel like we unload on our friends, whether it's work, relationships, family, so somebody that will listen and not just like talk back, right? Like that's a big thing because sometimes you just want to unload. So I'm with you on like honesty and stuff like that, but sometimes and I think I love my friends for it. Sometimes I think when you unload on someone and are just venting, my girls know when I'm just venting and know when I genuinely might need some direction.
Oh, for sure.
So that's nice too, right?
Sure.
And they're not like spreading what I said to anyone. And I mean, those are like all the qualities of a friend coming together, but like non-judgmental people, I always flock to for sure. Like, I don't really care about like labels and things like that. I never have. I mean, those are all great things to have, but it never defined like how I looked at my friends or how they looked at me, and that's always a big thing. Obviously too, like we make so many mistakes, especially like when you're younger, you know what I mean, like you make some big mistakes, and the fact that like people don't judge you or shun you, because some people do, and then like there's your true friends that stick through you through things like that too. So that's a big one. Fun to be around, like you said. I mean, come on, like again, things are dark, man. Like
you have to be able to like goof off
and laugh.
Have to laugh.
Kind-hearted, dependable is another one. I mean, there's been situations in my life with my parents and things like that, and it's just like I slept on hospital floors and my friends were there, or the next round of friends was there with coffee in the morning. Like just when people are just there for you and you can count on them I didn't even ask for any of that, so it's just like that. Respectful for sure. I have a variety of friends. I have friends that think this way and I have friends that think that way, and the fact that we can all sit in a room and just coexist and not like be at each other's throats, that's a big thing. Respecting my parents is a big one too.
Have to.
Understanding like all that stuff. So anyways, respect. And respecting me too.
I will say it's not really like a friend thing. I guess it'd be like more of like a friend person. I just cannot be associated with people with bad manners. I'm sorry. It is like such a turn off for me, and guys and girls. Like I'm just like, we don't talk like that to people who are serving you. I literally had a friend in like my past that every time we would go through a drive-through, she would mock the person. Like they'd be like, "Oh my God, thank you for coming to Starbucks. How can I help your order? Can I get you a blah, blah, blah?" And she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, no, I don't want to," and would mock them back, dude. And it would A, cringe, B, you're rude. And how do you like sit in a car with somebody that's like that? And it was every single time. No. Just like, it's not funny. Like, it's rude. It's rude. Anyways. Yeah. She ain't in my life anymore. Sorry. And anyone that's like encouraging and empathetic, those are like big qualities for me too. So, I mean, if you can't cheer me on, even if I am going in the wrong direction, you know what I'm saying? Just let me go. Claps. Give me a couple claps. Send me on my way, You tried. Okay, so let's talk like the stages of friendship. So I think this is really interesting because you like go from like, I don't know, have you ever like met someone and you're like, are we friends or are we not? Yeah. Like I've hung out with this person a couple times and I really like them. And so I would consider us friends, but like what do they consider a friend? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then before you know it, you're like lifelong friends. So I love that. I love like kind of like the progression of like how quick it could be. I agree. Like literally you can be so unexpected. So unexpected. Yep. Yeah. Unexpected friendships. I definitely have absolutely gotten those in the last, I would say 5 years for sure as I've gotten older. Yeah. Just like people like talking at a bar. Random.
having lunch.
Yeah, my people I used to live in the same like building with.
True. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
The neighbors.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we had like a fun like neighbor chain. Oh my god, and there were 12 of us, and we were constantly talking to each other every day.
That's so fun. That is
it was
so
fun. Oh my god, shout out to them. We all like kind of went our separate ways. The Nema crew.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But that was like a friend. That was a thing we needed then, because that was like right before COVID and right during COVID. And if we didn't talk to each other, my god, we would have like lost our sanity.
Yeah.
So. But obviously, like people that you meet at school, like college, that was like interesting. I find that one so interesting because I always had like my friends, and then I had like my school friends. And my school gang like stayed there for some reason. I don't know why. We never like kind of hung out or like got drinks after work, like school or anything. But they were like the best.
Like school, what school? College?
College.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it was like, I don't know. I would always like vent to them and be like, oh my gosh, I went out last night. My friend did this, blah, 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 blah. Like they were the people I could vent to my about my friends or something.
Yeah.
I love them.
So
that was fun.
I actually... different situation. My college friend is like one of my best friends now.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
And I'm still close to all the girls that I like was, close to in middle school and high school, but I actually talk to them way less.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like it's very interesting. Like, my roommate during here up the past few years in Chicago, when I lived with her, we grew up together. So we knew each other since we were kids, since preschool, but we always shared like a similar friend group from middle school and high school. But then obviously like everyone went separate ways in college. And so when I started rooming with her here in the city, it was so fun to see like all those girls again and like get that group back together. And we had like a blast. And still awesome. Like, I mean, we've separated because people have gotten married, multiple kids, like however that went, but it's just so nice to kind of like reconnect. And then I was part of a book club that we were all part of, and I don't know, man, friends are
fun.
It is.
I don't know what I would do without my friends.
Seriously. Anyways, well, we'll get there, but don't get me emotional in the start of the app. God.
Just saying.
Okay, let's talk work friends.
Yeah.
This one's always interesting. Did you ever worked in retail?
Yeah. Oh, girl, so many retails.
I was going to say, because I was a server, and I feel like that in itself is a whole, like, restaurant gangs.
Totally.
Are tight.
I will say, like, you're tighter than the retail folks.
Man.
Yeah.
That's because you got like the cooks, you got the dishwashers, you got the
bartender.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Lots of co-mingling, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
Co-mingling.
I worked at an Applebee's. I was an Apple buddy for 8 years.
Dang.
Yeah. And a lot of us were like writers like that. Like we like all kind of started the same time, or like if like the people that left like before me, they had been there for like 12, like everyone that had worked at this particular location was like had been there for forever. Our bartender had been there for 30 years, like since the day it opened. Like it was pretty like insane. But anyways, like what an interesting friend group.
Yeah.
Like so many dynamics, so many personalities, so many. I swear I learned the most from that group of people.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, this guy at this bar, or this place at this restaurant, I definitely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the
I have some friends that I talk to, right, that are like, I would say we became friends through me going to their bar.
Yeah.
In particular, like two girls, and we literally like became friends because I would just like go there. It was like my happy hour spot, whatever. But they're like so cool and like chill, but like every time we hang out, I feel like I just learned so much because it's like, oh, well, this guy at, I don't know, Damon Tavern, and then at the Standard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, it still runs deep, like especially in a city where there's like industry night.
Deeper in the city.
Yeah, like they know because, and especially if this is your career, if your career is a server or a bartender or a sommelier or whatever, and you're aware of like all the general managers in the restaurant industry and the whatever, like, and because you've worked with them places. it's so interesting to see.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just, again, like,
I always get kind of jealous in a way.
Yeah, because you have immediate friends,
close-knit family. Yeah,
it really is.
Hey, I can't work my shift today. Will you switch and pick it up for me? Blah blah blah.
Or
sure, no problem. I'm just
or
like,
I will
damn.
say, like, if you hate someone, you hate someone.
Yeah,
that's like another like strong. Like, you know, there were a couple people that we did not like, and we did not like them.
Like, the whole crew did it.
The whole crew. And it was like, it was very clicky.
Yeah, so, I can see that.
Anyways, but like now in a more professional setting, it's like very, like, I will say I'm very thankful to be in rooms with people that have similar goals, that have like minds, that are always like looking to better themselves, like, you know, because your friends might not have the same like aspirations and goals as you.
Sure.
But like, you know, when you sit with like colleagues, even maybe not my direct, you know, folks, but, you know, just people that I have worked with, or going to like some of these conferences, I sit on a board, like listening to the ways people think. A, what a turn on. B, it just keeps you motivated and keeps you like a better person. I love friends. That. Really, truly.
Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference.
It does.
One, in the workplace, and just yourself. Like, having someone that you can kind of bounce ideas off, somebody who like sees the same thing you see, or, you know, you can tell them, you know, this is kind of how I want it to go, and they just make your vision come to life. Like, I love... I think it really makes like the work experience so much better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Or, I mean, just like anything, you have an idea and your friend might think you're absolutely crazy, but then you bring it to the work table and they're like, let's go. Like, that's great, whatever. But even so, I will say, like, I love how sometimes like your work relationships, because we spend so much time with the people that we work with.
That's what I'm saying. You got to love them.
That you might even be closer than some of your friends.
Of course.
Like, they might even take the lead.
Yeah.
In some spots. But anyways, so work connections, great to have. What about friends in like other generations? Do you have people that are like significantly older than you that you're friends with, or you know, Gen Zers, if you will?
Yeah, I will say I do have some friends in different generations. Honestly, it doesn't really change the relationship at all. Yeah, I feel like the older, I don't want to say I respect more, but I like really like kind of look up to like how they've already gone through life a little bit more.
Totally.
And I like personally like love learning from other people's like experiences and like life situations. But then I also like think about the younger people I talk to, and I feel like they keep me like fresh and young and like hype and energy and like, you know.
Yeah, you always want to like keep up with them and like, you know, follow the trends. For sure. Or learn from them too. Like there's so many cool things like with technology or whatever, and they're like, oh no, you just do da 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 da.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
Oh my god,
well, this recently happened to me. Brandon. I'm like, what? You're serious?
Yeah, no, I think with older friends, I always like flocked to them for some reason. Like, I always loved like my bosses that were older. Yeah, I always like flocked to them, but. Even so, like, I would much so, like, there's been multiple times, right, where, you know, you go out to eat by yourself or something, and, like, you just talk to, like, the older couple next to you and stuff, and I think, like, the wisdom that they offer, maybe not so much the, like, I don't hate, but I don't love when you, like, say something and it's like, oh, well, don't do that because you'll end up like me. Like, that stuff, I'm like, all right, I have to try it, like, whatever. But when somebody like approaches it a little different and says like, hey, give it a whirl, like try it, like no idea is a bad idea type of thing, or like, oh, I took a leap of faith and look where I am now. Like, I think all of those just kind of validate sometimes, like, you know, coming from an older person, it just like validates that like, A, life's too short, B, take the leap of faith always. Like I feel like they validate a lot of those kind of thoughts. It's gonna be okay type of deal, where it's like, all right, maybe your marriage isn't working and you need to get out of it, right? And like mine didn't, but here I am, you know, like it just always kind of makes you feel better about your choices. And I agree. I love that about older friendships for sure. And they're just, I feel like, a little bit more nurturing sometimes.
Definitely.
Whether it's a man or a woman, they always kind of like just like parent you in a weird way.
Absolutely.
So I love that. And then of course, like the young ones, I'm always like, hey, I'm like sometimes I like sit at the kid table and I'm like, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
What's the new TikTok dances? And they're just like,
who are you?
You have a TikTok? I'm like, I'm really trying on there, okay? And then it's fine.
It's
you
fine.
know, like,
yeah.
I'm putting myself out there too, okay?
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Just tell me what's funny.
I'm taking a leap of faith.
And then the old people are like, get off TikTok. And
why are you on TikTok?
I'm just going to live there. Anyways. But obviously being vulnerable with a friend is like a huge part of it. Man, if you can't be vulnerable with your friends, I don't know who you're going to be vulnerable with.
Agreed.
Right? Like,
it's definitely not an intimate partner.
No. Well, because, I mean, you have to be vulnerable with your intimate partner for sure, but...
Well, you do, but it's not always there.
No. True. So, anyways, what about shared experiences? I feel like this is kind of what brings friends together. You love concerts.
Yep.
You love going out to eat.
Agreed.
You love pickleball.
Agreed.
You love whatever, like...
And then
that's
it's
kind of where
like
you
those
find them
people, yeah. And then it's like in those shared experiences when you hang out with those people, they're like, "Oh, let's go try this," and then like you're, introduced to like something new. Definitely shared experiences. I feel like is where a lot of people have like a common ground.
Yeah. Of course. I mean,
it's something you can relate to. It's relatable. Like it's something that you know already. That's like. They like participate or like do.
It keeps you together.
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay, until next year, you go camping every year, or you have like a festival that you go to every year with your friends. Like, even if that is the one time you see certain friend groups, I value that so much, because it's like, wow, that's the one like core memory that I will consistently have with these people, and I love it. I love being a part of it, right?
Yep.
And I just feel like you can meet more people through these things too. Like, there's so many. I'm a big concert goer, obviously, and so it's like it's nice sometimes because like we'll go get like a bite to eat or like some apps before like a show, and we're just like sitting there sometimes, and it's like, oh, are you guys seeing Kenny Chesney? And we're like, yeah, are you? And then you like just meet new people, and then they're like, oh, we have 2 extra tickets to VIP. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And
well,
I just met so many people. It actually has, yeah. So, but anyways, no, like, and I just love that. Or like, they're like, oh, are you going next week to, I don't know, Maroon 5? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were coming. Just so many things that like bring you together with a shared experience.
I agree.
You will. So, and I think like with that being said, another thing that kind of like is interesting about friendships, I don't know if you have, but I've definitely lost a few.
Yes, absolutely. As of recently too.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I mean, not recently, but core good friends I've like lost, and it is heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I will say.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are harder to lose than like
agreed,
an actual relationship. Well, friendships are relationships, right? Obviously. Right. But sometimes like it can be really hard to let go of someone that's like hurting you. And man, over the years, they don't get easier. That's for sure. Like, I mean, they may go quicker because you don't like hold on to them, but like in your 20s, when you like really need a person, and so you're like holding on even though they're probably not the best friend for you. Yep. It's so challenging.
I think definitely when you're younger, it's like very challenging, because I think I just think about myself. I mean, now I kind of don't really have that problem, I guess. I just don't put myself in certain situations with certain people. Yeah. But I feel like in my like 20s, especially my early 20s, it's like, and I think too, like, back then it's like, oh, you want to have all these friends and like all these people in your circle, in your corner, and really a small circle's just fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, when you're younger, you're like defined by your friends. Exactly. It's like, oh, you're friends with blah blah blah,
right? So
and so it could either go negatively or positively. Correct. Like, oh yeah, she's an amazing person, or oh my God, you're friends with them. Yeah, I've gotten that so many times. Yes. Because again, I've been friends with like multiple friend groups, and like even like my cool friends will be like, ew, you're friends with who? And I don't know. So it's always kind of a thing, but man, I thank those friends that I've let go of, though. Like, truly, like, I feel a lot of growth since then. One that was like my childhood best friend who, like, I mean, I thought of it as a sister my whole life. We parted ways like right before college, which was absolutely heartbreaking. And the whole, I mean, still to this day I think of her because I see her a lot, but it's just one of those things where, though, like, I was so defined by her because it was always Christina and blank and Christina, Christina and blank, blank and Christina.
So
like,
you didn't really have
I didn't have an identity.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like literally in this person's shadow.
Yeah.
My whole like upbringing.
Yeah.
And it was finally such a freeing thing, like, once we did like part ways for our own reasons, but like once we did, like, I was Christina.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, this is such a weird thing. Like, I can choose my own ideas and choose my own things, where like before we would collaborate on everything.
Yeah.
It was like, what college are we going to? Literally, we went to the same college. Like, what are we doing tonight? Where are we going? What are we being for Halloween? Like, it was always we were always like a unit.
Yeah.
Like, we dated friends.
Yeah.
Like, it was just crazy. So anyways, but I will say, like, the hardest thing to do is like rebuilding from those. And so how do you kind of like bounce back from something like that? Like, do you like make new friends to like do you grieve?
I don't know. I think I'm like it's funny because in a previous episode you mentioned like you got to see a soft side of me when we were in Florida, but I feel like I'm actually pretty soft. And I just like don't like to show people that. You know, I'm a tough girl. That's like my exterior, right? But there has been multiple friendships that like have like hurt. Yeah. And I like got to take a second.
Yeah.
And like, kind of just like take a step back.
Well, especially when you pour so much into your friendships.
I think too, it's like, as I've gotten older, it's like, wow, I really thought we were more than like we actually are. And I think that's like been the biggest difference between like my 20s and my 30s is like, it's not like, so to say, like, I need to like cut people off now. It's more like, wow, okay, so I'm seeing people's true colors.
Right. That's the hardest thing, man.
It's like,
I'm telling you, when you think that someone's your friend and then they don't show up for you the way that you want them to, or you expect something and it's not reciprocated, or they or vice versa, they expect something from you and you don't feel that way. Like, it is so hard. It's so hard to do. It's so hard to accept, man. So yeah, sometimes you just need a second. To like get it in. But there really are people that do bounce back and just make like a new friend, and I'm like, how do you have a new best friend all of a sudden?
I agree.
Like, I'm just like, can you pass those to me? Like,
is that a personality disorder?
I don't know. I'm just like, I can't. No one can take her place.
Shouldn't you be grieving me?
Aren't you upset about me?
You're not sad?
Oh my gosh, have you ever seen, like, there's like an ongoing joke with like my best friend that like she always had, like, she has new friends, right? She moved further away, and so she's made like new friend groups, like her neighbors and her new work friends and stuff like that. And like, I'll see like pictures of them and stuff, and I'm like, oh, how's blah, blah, blah. And she's like, fine. And I'm like, did you have fun?
I'm dead.
Oh, I'm always like so salty. I'm like the salty friend. I'm like, oh, really? She's your best friend?
You would. You troll.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, really? It's kind of like in Bridesmaids.
Yeah. Yes.
Helen.
Oh my God.
Like, dude.
Totally. I can just vision the part. Yes.
Yes, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. But I've also been in situations too where I'm like, yeah, this person has been in my life for 6 months, but literally I feel so connected and close to them. Like, I'm obsessed.
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
So, sorry.
I think certain people just click.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, like I'm telling you, for me, it's been those unexpected friendships that have been my friends forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, wait, what? We've known each other now for 12 years and we met through who and where? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. Okay. Switching up a little bit, because I feel like this was also a thing that stuck out in my mind when I was, thinking about this episode was kind of like the camaraderie, community, and friendship amongst vendors. Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you like? I mean, what are your first?
I'm seeing it now.
Isn't it crazy?
I will say.
I know we've seen it like recently. That's why I was like
recently.
Interested to hear your thoughts.
Really seeing it. It's crazy. I mean, I feel like I love it because it goes back to like you're with these people all the time. You're at the same, booth spot. You're next to the same person. You might as well talk to them.
Yeah.
But recently it happened when we were at Ashland and like these other vendors were looking at this particular vendor like he was God's gift to earth.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, me and Christina, I was like, what? And Christina was like, yeah.
He was like the quarterback.
I'm like, damn. Yeah. He's got them all over here wondering how he's doing business, the way he is, what his like plan, like, business plan, how he does what he, it's wild.
Well, I was laughing because recently we were at Alsip and felt like I love the like drama where it was like, oh, did you see Karen? Yeah, she showed up to blah, 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 blah. Like the interminglings because they also date and they're like, and he was hitting on his wife and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm like, yo.
We got to go.
We got to keep it
What's
moving.
going on over here?
Little drama over here.
Or I've noticed too when the vendors are like recently, like when that vendor in Alsip like left, remember, like halfway through the day.
Oh,
they're like, did you hear about what happened? Did you hear? Oh yeah, he left. I'm like, oh, so y'all are talking.
Oh my God, the rumors, the vendor rumors is a whole other. We could do a whole episode on that probably. But I think what I love too is like the part of, especially like when it relates to like Florida and like the bike show or people that sell antiques or people that sell like jewelry and stuff, like the connection between like vendor to vendor, but also like vendor to visitor. Yep. Like, especially you and I have seen that in action where you go up to a booth and they're like, that's 14 karat gold and it's 2K blah, 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 and they just like spew all of this information and they're so knowledgeable on something. And then when you watch someone interact with them and be like, oh, I used to have that or blah, 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 or my grandma had a jewelry store and whatever. And then they like immediately bond over it.
Yep.
It is so freaking cool.
I agree.
I love it. Or like
common ground. That's
totally.
Like it's common experiences.
And you would think that like people would compete with each other there, but really there is such a camaraderie.
Yeah, I honestly will say I kind of thought that when I started working with you guys, like that it would be kind of a competition because people are selling the same things. It's really not like that at all.
No, it's really not. What about like the one day where okay, we were actually shooting a vlog on all things that were $1 and we were kind of nervous. I was kind of nervous. I'm like, I don't know if we'll find a ton. That day, man, it was like, I feel like they were like, oh, you're selling things for $1. I'm going to sell all my things for $1.
Me and Christina were walking around.
It was so cool.
And I'm like, this is like, we have not been like, it was like a different experience. Literally, everyone was like bouncing off of each other's energy. Like the vendors were literally, it was so cool. And it was like so lively. It was a Thursday as well. And it was packed.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. And then recently too, like at Alsip, I saw like one vendor was coming to shop on a day that he wasn't selling, and like he borrowed $1 from one of the other vendors, and he's like, yeah, we've been friends for 20 years. I'm like, that is so cool. Like when people have like, you know, this side hustle, if they're like vendors on the side or just for fun, or you know, both of them have their jobs, like it's a struggle, like and they really truly connect on those things, especially if they are like wholesale people, because oh my gosh, that's another thing too, like typically people in business, right, like a lot of people are pretty quiet about how much they make or how much, you know, like what their salaries are, or, you know, their successes and failures. And I think to some degree you can keep certain things quiet.
For sure.
But how are you going to get better if you don't share some of that stuff, right? So like, for example, some of our favorite vendors like are very open and honest where, you know, they will buy some, like if they're having trouble buying something, a certain product, the guy next to them is also having that problem. So they like try to work together, like create a solution, just like anyone in a boardroom would. You know what I mean? And I think because they're friends and friendly, at least, like that gets them to their goal of like, all right, well, hey, let's stop buying from this guy because he's like, you know, I don't know, he's upped his prices and whatever, and let's go to this guy and see. Like, they really do work together, you know?
I know.
And it's cool to see because I think a lot of other industries, it's not like that.
No, it's like you don't want the person next to you doing better than you.
No, of course. And especially if you don't care about them or don't like them or...
Not at all.
Like, I'm looking at you like, I'm going to sell my candles.
Yep.
And keep it moving. And that's fine if you're like that. But listen, we know like friend groups, they make you move. I mean, think about it. Even if you have like 3 girls at a bar, that's a statement. And that's moving powerful than just one girl.
Completely.
So, sorry. You need friends.
You need friends.
Or to be friendly.
Yeah.
Quit being rude.
Don't be mocking no one in the drive-thru.
Be kind.
Be generous.
Okay, what about like the other part of like regulars? Because we've seen a lot of regulars at the Flea.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, like, they're close to the people that are selling there too.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite. All the Joes. There's a lot of Joes in the Flea.
A lot of Joes. No, it
Joe
is
and
true,
Chuck.
but it's like the regulars literally come in every week. They pick up their
loyal.
produce.
Goes back to our initial thing of like what friends are.
Yep.
They're loyal. They're respectful. Mm-hmm. They're...
You know, we could also make this, think about your service providers. I bet any money you go to the same hair person, the same nail person.
100.
Right. So at some point, you're friendly. You're friends of some degree, right?
Right.
I think that, you know, I guess for me, it's just like, I don't know. I just really don't know like how I would like get through. I'm trying to think about my days and like when things are just not going well. It's like my friends are the first people I like reach out to.
100. Yeah.
Whether I need like their opinion, their support, someone just to tell me I'm not crazy. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know what I would do without my friends.
Oh, of course. Well, and I think like too at the market, that's like we see that too, where it's like people, it'll be like a slow day or a rainy day or something, or just like a freaking full moon, just like it is like at, you know, a hospital or something where things are just like off altogether. And I love it because like, you know, people will come up to like another vendor and be like, man, dude, today sucks.
Yes. Yeah.
Or man, it's windy or whatever the case is. And it's just so funny because like they still, again, like it's a friend. So they're venting. They're
wanting you to say something to comfort them.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. They are very much so looking for that.
Whether it's acknowledging that it's windy. Mm-hmm. Hey man, it is. Can you believe
hey, no one's buying stuff for me? How about you?
For nothing. I heard that recently at the flea market.
Hear that one more time. Oh my God.
It drives me crazy.
Like, I know. It's funny. Anyways, you know, the other thing too is a lot of them travel in packs. So
like wolves.
What I mean by that, yeah, literally like wolves. But like if there's like a craft fair, like a lot of vendors, there's like, oh yeah, me, Bob, Carol, Kim, and whatever, we're all going.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, can some of you stay here? Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, what are you going to do? These are people that obviously, like I said, whether you're a craftsman, whether you're a wholesaler, whatever you sell, you're bonding with these people that are around you, literally other like-minded people that are buying from you. And you establish like a really cool dynamic.
Imagine going there every weekend and selling and not talking to anyone that's around you. I mean, like how boring. That would suck.
Seriously. Well, you think about it, but that's how it is at storefronts. Like, I know. Like in a strip mall. It's not like they're able to like talk and collaborate and vent. It's like,
so I will say a little bit though. A little bit we could, because in my retail days, we basically... particularly this is one of the places I worked was Journey Kids, and we would stand on the outside of the store, kind of like in between, like at the edge, like the tile at the edge of the store, and kind of like they wanted us to like welcome and bring people in. So like, of course, I'd be chatting with the people in the middle. I'd be talking to the T-Mobile guy next to me.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm literally there for 9 hours. Like, and no one's in the mall. What am I supposed to do?
That's also you, though.
We know. I like to talk to
people. No, but you're like outgoing and you're chatty. But like, I don't know. Me nowadays, I ain't doing that. No. Or like, okay, but think about, let's think about like a standard strip mall in Michigan or Indiana. There's like a Dunkin' Donuts, a T-Mobile, a Planet Fitness.
I'm not going outside. Like
a Blue Cross Insurance,
Little Caesars.
Yeah.
And then probably Hungry Howie's in the same damn complex.
Yeah, something. And then like a La Quesadilla Mexican place. Okay, that's the strip mall. Now, and maybe like some sort of like
dollar store.
Yeah, I don't know. Nail tech.
Yeah.
Okay. None of those people are talking.
No.
They might have 3 cars going through, and they're probably all bored as hell. Oh, throw in a tanning salon in Indiana, because we got to have like LA tan in there.
No, I'm not gonna lie. No, this is off topic, but I really recently have thought, man, maybe I should just go like a couple times. Like, honestly, back in my tanning days, I honestly just loved being under the hot lamp. Like, I realize this is not good for me, but we're getting into seasonal depression, and it might just give me that. Okay,
Rachel,
dose.
I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about it. There's an LA tan 1 block from here.
That's what I'm saying. Don't tell me you haven't thought about it.
Anyways, okay, back to the topic. Most of these people are so segregated and they're not talking to each other. I think it's so powerful and so freaking, pardon my French, badass that at a flea market, everyone is lively. And even if you hate the guy across from you, you still need to be friendly with him. You know what I mean? And together, they freaking kill it. The power of friendship.
2 is always better than 1.
For sure. All right. Any last final thoughts? Shout outs to your friends.
Shout out to definitely my friends. Don't know what I would do without you guys, but I will say shout out to you too. Honestly, I think, it's Christina and I were friends before we started working together. And I definitely think, we've, like every friendship, you go through like challenges and speed bumps and obstacles. But I don't know if I don't know what I would do not working with somebody like you, who's like, we can yes, maybe we butt heads sometimes, but I feel like it just makes me waking up and working so much more fun to have somebody that I can literally count on.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful what our friendship has done over the years, for sure. Definitely with working as well too.
Yeah. I mean
I can't admit, I have worked with shitty people. I'm sorry, excuse my French, but like people that are just like, they're not on the same page, and it really does make the work experience not great.
Again,
really does not make it great.
Life ain't fun.
No,
life is not easy, and it's short. And so I think exactly what you said. You gotta have people around you, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's out to eat. Everywhere. Like, you gotta have your crew, your core. And that could be one person, that could be your mom. My mom has played such a huge friend role for me in the past
me too.
decade of my life,
so
where
much.
I never thought I thought me and my mom would never be friends, and she's literally a rider for me, right? So thank you, first of all. I agree. Quickly on my end, a shout out to my friends, like the people that have been there through some really nasty, ugly things and could have literally left me in a sewer to rot. Didn't. And so, man, I thank you guys. I thank my girls. I love you to death. And that speaks qualities for like them, and I guess for me, for choosing good people to be around. So that's for sure something I definitely want to say during the month of thankfulness. I am thankful for that. I am thankful for my family who has stepped up as friends. Because sometimes friends could be crappy too, and I have a lot of friends that live very far. All my best friends do not live in the city, so it's very hard sometimes when you need someone or whatever. And then another part is, as an adult too, like, I've like 5 friends in the city, and if they're all busy, I have
nothing to do. Nothing
to do. So,
yeah.
So anyways, whoever you are, you're listening. My friends know who they are. I don't have to shout you out individually, but I love you. My family, I love you too.
Go through the list right now. Come on. I'm kidding.
Oh my God. Oh God. I don't even know. Just kidding. I don't have any friends. I'm just joking. Anyways, but yeah, colleagues and everything that we've talked about, like people that have really shown up when they don't need to, and they do. And then, yes, I agree. I think you too, like you have been like a part of my work family for the past few years. And I definitely absolutely value that. I value, your skills and your talents and your personality and the growth that we've had as well. And I think work's not easy either, right? Like work is definitely, a big part of my life. It consumes the majority of my day, my hours and everything. And if it's not enjoyable with the people that you're with, it could really be bad.
Yeah.
And not fun. And so, yes, I am very thankful for that relationship as well, too. So, yeah. And then, of course, like the bonds of like the vendors, like that next step of, they're part of my friend group, too, I guess, if you will. We've become pretty good friends with a lot of people. And it is really nice to say hello every single time and very uplifting. Like honestly, you said, too, when you don't want to go and
I would feel
it's muggy out and you're just like, man, these guys came out here too. They show up for you in a weird way. So shout out to the vendors too.
And all the Swap family. You guys are all great. I would say, I've been working with you guys now with Swap-O-Rama over 2 years. Yeah. Going to each location, everyone is so amazing. I'm just thankful to literally like be around people who are just genuinely good people to be around.
Yeah. Again,
and that's like everyone in my life, right?
Don't waste your time with anything but
my friends, my work people. There's a reason that you guys are all in my life, and I'm definitely thankful this month and always.
Amen to that.
We love our people.
Well, that's all we have the time for on Friends. We love our friends. Thankful.
As always, if you guys like this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, thanks for listening to another episode of You,
Me,
and the Flea.
See you next time.
Week.